What's going on, guys? Today we're going to talk about a fragrance from the house of Roja Dove. Well, Roja Parfums. This one is touted quite highly by guys like TLTG's Ross and many other people in the community as just being a heavy hitter when it comes to this line. I've always been curious about it, and I'm sure if you guys have looked at the Parfum Cologne series, this one has popped up on your radar as a head scratcher in terms of, is this something that I should get? The bottle looks amazing. I've got some samples on me, so let's strap up and go for that ride. All right, welcome to the Scent Bubble. I'm your host for the evening, shoot, look at that. Does that look like evening, guys? Maybe it is. Maybe I'm on the set of a movie or something. Anyways, House of Roja Dove. We have Apex Eau de Parfum. I know y'all have had your eyes on this. I know I have. I love Roja Parfum Cologne's vetiver, and this bottle is very similar, but always curious about Apex. So let's finally get this in front of me and see what it's hitting for, to see if you guys should put your nose on it too. I really appreciate, it smells really good in the air. I really appreciate you guys who have given me such good feedback and really appreciate my nose and have come up to me multiple times every month and said, hey, based off your recommendation, I bought such and such. I'm so thrilled with it. I'm so happy. You were right. I really, don't speak lightly about fragrances. That's why I'm overspoken a lot of times and give you guys as much detail as possible, because I know what it's like to smell fragrances and not be able to sort through your mind in the moment because you don't have a lot of context. And so a lot of times you get in the fantasy stage with a fragrance and you buy it, but then you take it home, it doesn't feel the same, or you spent a lot of money and it doesn't feel the same. So I'm here to alleviate a lot of that with you guys, and it's shown to be helpful by the exhaustible amount of emails, texts, and DMs I get saying, hey, SB, thank you so much. Your recommendations really helped me, and it's, enriching my fragrance journey. Now, I want to say right off the bat, I get this kind of pine cone, kind of green aromatic blast. And it's soapy and it's green. So imagine Greenlee or Greenwich Village or Lafayette, but more Greenwich than Lafayette and more Greenlee than Greenwich. Man, this has like a really kind of pine cone Christmas tree soapy lift, but it's bright, it's modern, it won't remind you of Christmas, it won't be holiday-ish. It's just very soapy. But soapy in a way where it's like you buy a really... Speaking of which, have you guys been to the supermarket lately or like the grocery store? A bar of soap is like the only cheap thing you can come across nowadays. These body washes, $10, $20 for body wash? Absolutely insane. $20 for a bottle of lotion? What the heck's going on? My deodorant costs like $14 now. I don't know what the heck's going on with these people. But that aside, this feels like one of those fancy soaps that you'd buy, like a bar soap, a organic bar soap. And so it no longer smells soapy, like it actually almost dang near smells like a fragrance. You know those soap bars where it's just like a lot of raw materials and stuff like that, and they manage to get the soapy feel, but it's more almost like dang near a fragrance in the most natural way possible. Nothing about this feels synthetic. And yeah, I just get this soapy, almost minty pine cone green lift to it. A lot of cedar. Yeah, it's kind of just like this cedar mossy pine cone green lift that has a tone of soapiness. I'll let you guys know my thoughts on it in a second. Let's go ahead and check this fragrance out. 3.87 out of 5, so not mass appeal and not even put your nose on it. It's almost put your nose on it. Classified as a leather fragrance. I don't smell leather. I do smell a sophistication similar to leather, so maybe that's just what it's doing to this fragrance. Um, Bergamot, orange, lemon up top, pineapple, cistus in canis, and jasmine in the heart. And in the base is really all this stuff that I get. This cypress, fir, oak moss combo, patchouli, tobacco, juniper. I get the juniper. Olibanum, amber, galbanum, ambergris, musk, cashmere. Like I've said many times before, guys, don't try to read a Roja Dove note composition. It will not be helpful at all. This is way more green than citric and floral. All this top note stuff really dies down right away, and you get straight to the fir, the cypress, the oak moss, the juniper very quickly. Yeah, it's quite simple. I imagine the performance on this ain't bad either. I imagine 6+ hours minimum. This doesn't really feel like a sillage fragrance. It's more of a 2-3 foot of projection consistently. I do get votes here of long longevity, so maybe you can easily push to 8. But for me and what I'm smelling, I feel like this should easily go 6, and anything after that will have to do with hygiene and skin. Similarities with Italian Cypress from Tom Ford, Dior Sauvage, maybe the EDT, but this isn't Sauvage-y to me. Polo Green for sure. Halston Z14. Axe Body Spray. This is hilarious. Ormond Jane Vetiveria. Don't be talking about my Ormond Jane. Absolute Aventus Collector's Edition. Okay, ignore all of this stuff. Divine Vert. Is that a clone? Yeah, Fragrance World. Interesting. That is one of the lousiest clone bottles I have ever seen. But yeah, performance is there. Complexity is there. Now, this rating right here, I can totally resonate with, and I think it's perfectly fitting for where we are in this review. I liked this more when I first tried it. Having spent more time with it, it got me realizing it's just a nice scent, but not too much more than that. It's a nice homage to the old school type of scents, and there's really nothing wow about it. It just smells nice. And I'll be straight up and down with you guys. You know SB. I'm not going to sit here and tug your chain and lie to you guys. That's exactly what this is. The opening is like, oh, wow, this is really nice. Oh, my gosh, a green scent. You know, almost the same way I felt about Greenlee and Greenwich and Lafayette at first, where it's like, man, that opening is this pristine green. It's an elevation from fragrances like Spice Bomb Night Vision and Coach Green and things like that. But then it dries down to a very basic kind of Greenlee, a more basic green Irish tweed, you know, and it's just soapy. And so I feel like this is truly a fragrance where, yeah, on skin, it's the exact same. It almost takes a blue feel, like a blue shower jelly green type of feel. Yeah, it just kind of dries down to a very strong scent, a pronounced scent, a clean and fresh scent. So the ladies are going to love that. But complexity, star power, depth, transition, anything like that? No. This is just a entry-level niche soap scent. Year-round, spring-summer leaning, any occasion. It's casual and upscale casual, works safe, but I wouldn't really call it a work fragrance. A glorified shower scent in a very niche way. You know, you could smell like this if you shopped at Lush, for sure. It would be like their lemon and pine bubble bath, you know what I'm saying? But just very high-end ingredients. But it dries down much simpler than the opening. And so I really agree with that sentiment that I just read. Sometimes I like to read the reviews because it's amazing how much some people can nail it. You always got to take Fragrantica reviews with a grain of salt, but since I have the fragrance in front of me, I can fact check it. Okay. Sprays on this, I'm going fairly nuclear with a fragrance like this, 8 minimum. I want that thing to sing. You might dial it down to 6 if you find that this is actually going the distance like it claims. You know, the majority vote was that it's very long lasting, which is typically like north of 6 hours, closer to the 8-hour mark. Eternal is 10 hours plus. That's when you stop counting. Are they calling this unisex? No, it's a for men, and I do agree with that. Again, it feels like Neo Fougere, but not in the same way that Isola Blue was. Isola Blue had 4 times the complexity of this scent. This just feels about 15-20% upgrade from some of your best Fougeres in terms of quality, but in terms of depth, there's even Fougeres I have like Ubagant, Fougere Royal, which feels more complex than this and is the same similar path. Even some of my Halstons and stuff like that hit, but this does have the kind of Axe body spray modern lift to it that makes it feel a little more of today, but it is quite simple still. Yeah, as a scent, I truly can't give it more than about a 7. If we were doing decimals, I'd try to push it towards an 8, but it's not an 8. It's so clearly not an 8. And I don't think Greenwich and Lafayette, you know, those can creep into 8 territory, but even those I don't think really rise above that. This isn't average in the perfume world, which is why I would percent bump it with a decimal, but it is extremely average for niche, which is what it's being marketed as. So I would call this like super entry level niche. It feels like the quality level of your City Rhythms, your Manceras, stuff like that. And yeah, I really think they left some crumbs on the table with this one, but it's a good scent. It's a very good, strong, average, slightly above average scent. And you get a lot of wear from it. You'll wear it a lot. This is like, if you looked up dumb reach in the dictionary for men, this would be that in the niche world. Don't even think about it. You're not trying to stand out and make statements, but you are trying to smell at a very basic shower level better than everybody else. And that's what this will do. So 7 with a slight upward lean if you're a decimal lover. We went over this, the alternatives. I honestly feel like don't look for an alternative to this because there's going to be a lot. But the downgrade from this will be like your Coach Greens and your Night Visions from Spice Bomb. Your upgrades to this is going to be like, you know, Roja Harrods, Midsummer's Dream, Isola Blue, Original Vetiver just by the tiniest bit, Green Irish Tweed, Lafayette Street. I'm not necessarily going to say Greenwich or Greenlee because I think those kind of sit right where this is. Roja Parfums Cologne Vetiver is way more sparkling than this, way less soapy, but still gives you the green feel. And there's a lot of options. Now, if you did want to buy Apex, it does go on sale quite a bit. So it retails at the 100 ml concentration for $380, but I've seen it go below $150, kind of the $130 to $150 price point during holidays and during random times of the year. I don't know outside of holidays what are the other reasons that stuff like this gets knocked down, but definitely get your nose on it before you buy it and actually wear it for a whole day, because this is one of those trickery fragrances where the bottle looks awesome. It's this jet black gradient into green, the white print, the all black cap with the Roja Dove font, you know, insignia on it. The opening is like, oh shoot, this is nice. A green scent that's more modern and kind of synthetic. But then it dries down and you're like, oh, well, I mean, it's still good, but did I just want to spend $150 for a fragrance like this? You'd really have to make a call, because it's like, if you have one style of this, then if you get this, you don't get any of the fragrances that I just named, because even if they were better, it'd be very, very redundant. So wear it for a day and see if it really, you know, if you're a simple kind of guy, this is a great niche starter pack, everyday wear type of scent. But if you don't want to spend that hard-earned coin unless it's something special or at least above average, I think you don't look in this direction. Skip this and go straight to Roja Vetiver and let that be your baseline, because that's one of the most wearable vetivers of all time. Very mass appealing, very modern, very sparkly, and less about soap and more about green soap and fruits or citruses. So with that being said, this was Roja's Apex. Do I have the, here you go. And it was a little bit above a 7 out of 10 for me. Like, comment, subscribe. More importantly, turn on that notification bell. Talk to me. I do talk back. Guys, have you put your nose to this fragrance? And here's a better question. In the Roja Parfum Cologne series, which I don't think this is a part of, but it's kind of like a flank to all those, you know, your Scandal, your Fetish, your Vetiver, your Elysium, all that stuff. What's your favorite out of that line? And is there a green fragrance from Roja that you feel is better? Or what is your go-to green fragrance? Because I really think once all the smoke and fantasy stage clears out, this is one of the more simple offerings that Roja has out there, which in fairness, the Parfum Cologne series was supposed to take a lot of the OG Eau de Parfum concentrations and give them super modern, bright, airy lift. And this does that. But it still doesn't maintain its Roja factor. You know, if I said this was Goldfield and Banks or something, you wouldn't challenge me on it. So with that being said, sound off in the comments. I do talk back, and I'm going to recommend some videos for you guys to try based off what you've been searching for on this channel. Check out the playlist section where I've divided everything conveniently for your binge purposes, and I hope you guys stay blessed. Until next time, peace.